A prominent Putin critic is free this morning after being arrested by police in Spain. According to police, Bill Browder was released after a warrant for his arrest from Russia was found to be invalid.
Browder talked to journalists after being released today. The U.S.-born British citizen explained how his investigation into the murder of a lawyer led to his arrest.
Well, the Russian Vladimir Putin and the Russian government are absolutely infuriated that I'm bringing them to justice for the murder of Sergei Magnitsky and all the crimes connected to that murder. And they're using every type of abuse to try to stop me. And this morning's arrest, abusing the Interpol system, is just one example of that.
So this is quite a mystery. For more on this, we want to bring in Roxana Saberi. She's joining us now from London. So Roxana, explain what happened today.
Well, Browder says he was detained in Madrid for around 2 hours, and we've been following the events through his live tweets. This morning, he posted a photo from what he said was the back of a Spanish police car on the way to a police station. He later posted a picture of himself saying he had been released. Anne-Marie and Vlad.
So why was he arrested in the first place, Roxana?
Well, in 2013, a Russian court sentenced him to 9 years in prison in absentia on fraud charges, which he denies. There are contradictory accounts about why he was detained today. So Browder says he was arrested on a Russian warrant through Interpol, as you heard him say earlier, and was released after the agency's general secretary advised the Spanish police to ignore it. But the International Policing Agency told us they had nothing to do with his detention today, and that while Russia had sent out an alert for his arrest last year, it was considered invalid. A spokesman for the Spanish National Police says Browder was detained in error and that police realized an international warrant for his arrest was out of date only after he was taken into custody. So a lot of conflicting accounts.
So he's an American-born British citizen. We know he's a critic of Putin. Can you explain why a lot of people are critics of Putin, so why has he risen to the level where the Russian government is aware of him?
Right, they are very aware of him. He was once a big investor in Russia, but he was kicked out in 2005. He later accused Russian officials of looting his money and framing him for tax fraud. And Browder hired a Russian lawyer to investigate, but that lawyer, Sergei Magnitsky, died in Russian custody in 2009. Browder says from torture and neglect. He later persuaded Congress to pass a law punishing Russian officials linked to Magnitsky's death. Canada has passed its own version. The UK is considering one too. Browder has written a book about corruption and the abuse of power in Russia, which became a bestseller in the US. So he's been a constant thorn in President Putin's side. He says his life has been threatened as a result. Moscow has denied Browder's allegations against it.
So for a lot of people who are trying to understand how Russia is able to do something like this, it's through Interpol, but some people are saying that they're abusing the power that Interpol has and that they have through the use of Interpol.
Yeah, there's some confusion about this, Vlad and Anne-Marie, because Browder says this was the 6th time Russia requested his arrest through Interpol. But Interpol has said in the past that it has refused to enforce a request from Russia for his arrest because it was, quote, predominantly political in nature and therefore contrary to Interpol's rules. And then just recently, today, Interpol also said that Mr. Browder is not wanted through Interpol's channels.
Okay, Roxana Saberi, thanks a lot.
You bet.